So another event has happened that just shows that gamers are the most oppressed group of people on the internet. So a few days ago, I started seeing a bunch of news articles and, just shit everywhere all over Twitter about how China is basically restricting all people under the age of 18 to only 3 hours of video games per week. So what this rule basically means is Monday through Thursday, anybody under 18 is not allowed to play video games. But Friday through Sunday, you are allowed to play 1 hour of video games per day. So you might be wondering, why the hell would China, do this? Why are they only letting, these poor Chinese kids only play 1 hour per day on the weekends only? Well, according to China, it's to combat gaming addiction. So that thing that people were talking about a few years ago about how people are addicted to video games? Well, China seems to be, very much a believer in that, philosophy. And they don't want their children exposed to the awful side of video games. So apparently this isn't the first time that China's tried to do this either. In 2019, they actually limited people under 18 to being able to play 1.5 hours per day, which is still pretty bad, but it's a lot better than 3 hours total in a week. But once I seen this headline, I thought for sure everybody would be in agreement that this is just awful and, just kind of an overstep by the government, Yeah, but there was actually a surprising amount of people that were actually in favor of China's decision to restrict people under 18 from playing more than 3 hours a week. Like this guy. Hot take, but China's recent video game restriction isn't that bad. Gamers should be happy. China is literally removing the worst consumers from the market while preventing youth from getting addicted to psychologically gamified, dopamine-providing software. I honestly cannot see how people can possibly have this opinion where they actually think that the restriction is good. Although I do believe that, video games can be addictive, especially to children, and it could be very harmful. I just don't think that it's honestly the government's place to be, setting that restriction on children, especially as a blanket restriction where it basically just bans all people under 18, not just people who are showing signs of being addicted or whatever. It's just a blanket rule over everybody, which I personally think is the parents' role to play and not the government. And also, what the fuck is this? Gamers should be happy. Come on now. Okay, here's another tweet of somebody defending the new rule. Though I don't like government controlling people's lives, I support this measure. Kids have become addicted to online games, staying at home, and working parents have little time to look after these. They play for hours. Restricting the access from the source is the best way forward. To combat this guy's point, I think there's plenty of things parents could do, to restrict kids from being addicted to video games in the first place. Like maybe taking away their console if they aren't listening, on what times to play and which times not to play. I just don't think the government should have a say on, saying you can't do this, especially for something that you bought yourself. Alright, there's one more dumb tweet that I found. This one just takes the cake. This is a country with future productivity in mind. I think this reply to this tweet is the perfect comeback to this take. So the kids who used to play video games earlier will now start building flying cars and spaceships. You can't force someone to be productive. Exactly. This dude thinks that, you play video games, you automatically become a, 40-year-old virgin who's, hiding away from society in his mom's basement. The ones who don't play video games, they're the real productive ones. I just honestly don't see how these people could actually defend this. Even if you're coming from the point of actually wanting to help kids not get addicted to video games, I just think that this is just not the way to go at all. There has to be a better way of avoiding people from getting gaming addiction than just, flat out just basically banning it or restricting it to such a degree which is just, you can't even play it basically. Yeah, but on the bright side, there's actually one thing that makes this a little bit more better. This restriction only applies to online video games. So basically like, Fortnite, Warzone, or anything League of Legends and stuff like that. This restriction will not apply to any single player offline games, which is honestly just better than nothing. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with this, whole situation. I just think that's kind of crazy that people are okay with the government kind of overstepping their own parental roles and basically just enforcing stuff on their kids. But you know what, it's whatever, I'm over 18, I don't care, I don't live in China, so it doesn't really affect me. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a rating on the video, and yeah, peace out everybody.